Is it actually affordable to live in Mount Dora? That's the question you need to be asking if you're considering a move here. So today I'm breaking it all down for you. Housing, transportation, entertainment, insurance. We're going to look at how everything stacks up to New York, to Orlando, to wherever you're from, so you'll know how much money you're saving by moving to Mount Dora. I'm Riley, your Mount Dora realtor. I post videos each week about life and real estate here in Mount Dora, so be sure to subscribe, or if you're ready to make your move, book a call with me in the description box below. But let's get to it. Let's start with the biggest expense, which is housing. In February 2025, the median sold price for a home in Mount Dora was $391,750, which is actually a little bit lower than Orlando, where homes are going for closer to $400,000. If you're coming from New York, you're probably used to prices over $700,000, depending on where you're living. Homes are selling for 97.9% of their list price, which is great for sellers, but they're sitting on the market for about 60 days right now, so buyers are getting great deals. All of this to say, if the home is on a market for a certain price and you go on to make an offer, you're likely not going to see any major price changes from the seller, so don't count on getting that house for too much less. The great thing about housing here in Mount Dora is that you're actually getting a little bit more bang for your buck. So you're getting that larger yard, you're getting that historic charm, you're getting that extra fourth bedroom that you need for that home office. So you have a little bit more space here for your dollar. Now, if you're looking at rent, the average rent price in Mount Dora is around $2,100 according to Zillow. So compare that to Orlando, we're right at about $2,000. New York looks more like $3,300. I wanted to show you what a few other markets looked like as well right here, just so you know where you're coming from, what those other prices might look like compared to Mount Dora. So whether you're buying or renting, Mount Dora is definitely on the more affordable side, especially for what you get in terms of space and quality of life. One of the best things about living in Florida is no state income tax, and that alone can make a huge difference in your take-home pay, especially if you're moving from a state like New York or New Jersey. Tax rates in New York range between 4% and 10.9%, of course, depending on your income level. And New Jersey looks like 1.4% all the way up to 10.75%. So if you're making $100,000 a year, you could save anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000 by living here in Mount Dora. It's one of the reasons that Florida is attractive for so many retirees, because there's no tax on Social Security benefits. So retirees can enjoy their full federal retirement benefits without any deductions from the state. Another type of tax worth mentioning is sales tax. So Florida sits really right in the middle of the country when it comes to sales tax, ranked 28th with a rate of 6.95%. Some of the top rates are Louisiana at 10.12%, Tennessee at 9.56%, and Arkansas at 9.46%. Lowest are Alaska and Hawaii at 1.82% and 4.5%. So looking at property taxes, Mount Dora has a property tax rate of 0.95% of your home's assessed value. It's a little bit lower than Orlando, where it's closer to 1.02%. It's definitely better than states like New Jersey, where it's over 2%. So of course, if you're purchasing a primary residence, you'll have the opportunity to homestead that property, which reduces the assessed value by about $50,000, which translates to about $750 annually, depending on your location and the millage rate in that area. Now, something to note, Governor DeSantis has been floating the idea of getting rid of property taxes in Florida. We wouldn't see this until 2026 at the earliest, but that would be an amazing potential savings there if he were to make that happen. All right, let's talk utilities. It's Florida, which means it's hot, and you're absolutely going to be running your AC for a big chunk of the year, if not the whole year. On average, utilities for a home in Mount Dora run around $175 to $200 per month. That looks like electrical, water, and trash service. In Orlando, those costs are similar, around $150 to $200, where in New York, that could be anywhere from $200 to $600, depending on the size of your home and the season. Now, if you're moving into a newer home in Mount Dora with good insulation and energy-efficient features, your AC won't have to work as hard, which means you have a little bit lower electricity costs there. On the other hand, if you're drawn to one of Mount Dora's charming historic homes, keep in mind those often have older windows and insulation, which can lead to higher utility bills, especially in the summer months when your AC is working overtime. We do have natural gas here in Mount Dora, but not everywhere, so your utility bill may look a little bit different depending on that. Keep in mind, if you're moving to the Mount Dora area, but you're looking for a little bit more land, the property you're interested in could have a septic system, which generally doesn't have a monthly upkeep cost, but a few times a year you'll want to have that serviced just to make sure it stays in tip-top shape. So that is another cost you need to be aware of. Grocery prices have definitely gone up across the board, but Mount Dora has a great little hidden gem, which is our local farms and markets. We have several great spots where you can buy fresh, local produce, meats, and eggs, often for 10 to 20% less than what you would find at bigger grocery chains. And of course, the quality is so much better. If you are living in a bit more of a rural part of the area, you are likely to have a neighbor who has chickens, so they would obviously have eggs for you. We have a few local butchers and farms who sell their produce. I will list those here. We also have the Sunday Farmers Market here in downtown Mount Dora with some great vendors, and a huge market at the Lake County Fairgrounds in Eustis as well. That said, we also have all the usual grocery stores, so Publix, Aldi, Walmart, they're all close by. Publix is always going to be higher in price than Aldi or Walmart, but sometimes the selections at Aldi aren't always as great, and our Walmart gets very busy, so there are of course trade-offs. Our closest Sam's Club is in Lake Mary, or there's one in Apopka as well. Costco is in Altamont Springs, so those are all between 30 and 40 minutes from us. If you're moving here from a big city, one thing to know is that you will need a car. Mount Dora does not have a subway or a major public transportation system, so driving is the only way you're going to get around. We do have a local fixed route system called Lake Express, which runs through Mount Dora, Eustis to Varys, and connects all of these great little towns. This is Route 1 here, so you can see it goes through and around Mount Dora. Fares here range anywhere from $1 for a one-way trip or $8 for 10 rides, so it's very affordable. When it comes to driving a car, gas prices like groceries are seeing some fluctuations, but our gas prices out here tend to be a little bit lower than the city of Orlando. So here are some local gas prices that I grabbed for March 11th of 2025. So you can see they are a little bit lower. And that might not seem like a huge difference right now, but over time it really adds up, especially if you're driving quite a bit. Now, if you're commuting to Orlando, you'll also want to factor in toll costs. The main toll roads like the 408, 429, and Florida Turnpike add up to about $100 per month if you're driving to the city regularly. E-Passes and Sun Passes both offer discounts for purchasing in bulk, so definitely something to keep in mind. Also, I'm going to cover insurance a little bit later, but auto insurance is definitely something you want to check out because we have a lot of older drivers, student drivers, uninsured drivers, and the like. We unfortunately have some of the highest car insurance rates in the country. You'll definitely want to get a quote before you make your decision. If you need a few great local insurance agents, reach out to me and I'll put you in touch with some that my clients have rated. If you're ready to make your move to Mount Dora, you can book a call with me in the description box below. Would love to learn about your real estate needs and figure out how we can get you moved here. You can also download my Moving to Mount Dora guide, which has a ton of great information on how to get you to the area. Let's get back to it. One of the best things about Mount Dora is that there's so much to do for free or at a low cost. We have tons of festivals throughout the year, and most of them are completely free to attend. And we have all of our outdoor activities. So you can go kayaking at Wekiwa Springs in Apopka for just $6 a carload. If you're looking for something a little bit different, the Villages is about 45 minutes away, and they have free live entertainment every single night. Everything from country music to rock to line dancing. Everything you could think of is out there and it's all free. And locally, we have so many options to explore. From my silent book club, which is my favorite thing to do, it's free to attend. We have a very active library system within Lake County, and they have massive calendars of free events each month for kids and for adults. We have dance classes for adults at Rhythm on 5th in downtown. We have pottery painting at Yada Yada Pottery, which is typically less than $20. We have tons of local art galleries or museums, all free or low cost, and you're supporting a local business, which is always a plus. If you love to spend time outdoors, we're located right on the Harris Chain of Lakes, which is 75,000 acres of lakes spanning across Central Florida, so there's no shortage of places to boat or fish or kayak or paddleboard around here. And of course, if you're into theme parks, you're less than an hour from Disney World and Universal. A lot of locals have annual passes, so they go back and forth all the time. Basically, you don't have to spend a ton to have a lot of fun here in Mount Dora. If you have little ones, let's talk about what to expect for childcare costs in Mount Dora. Florida. Full-time daycare in Mount Dora typically ranges from $700 to $1,200 per month, depending on the facility and the type of care. For after school, most programs cost about $200 to $400 per month, depending on the hours, of course. Or if you're considering private school, Mount Dora Christian Academy tuition goes up to about $15,225 for the 2025 calendar year. Or there's the Create Conservatory, which is a K-7 nonprofit private school. That's about $730 a month. There are plenty of privately owned daycare options, so you have a lot of choices when it comes to childcare. Healthcare is aplenty here in Mount Dora. We have a ton of great local clinics, urgent cares, and primary care providers. We have both Advent Health and Orlando Health providers out here. And if you ever need specialized care, Orlando's top hospitals are just under an hour away, and Tampa General is 2 hours away as well. According to payscale.com, healthcare costs here are actually about 7% lower than the national average. So to give you an idea of what a typical medical expense looks like, here are some costs for doctor's visits, dentist visits, optometrists, prescriptions, vets, all of the essentials you need to know. Okay, let's talk home insurance. I will be honest, this is one of the trickier costs here living in Florida, and Mount Dora is unfortunately no exception. Homeowners insurance can get a little bit pricey, especially if you're buying an older home, so my advice will always be to bundle it as much as you can with your auto. If you're looking at a house that's more than 40 years old or has outdated plumbing systems or electrical systems, you should expect your premiums to be a little bit higher. For newer homes in Central Florida, insurance runs typically between $3,000 and $7,000 per year, depending on, of course, your location, your roof condition, your claims history, all of those details. Older homes can be even more expensive, especially if they've had multiple claims in the past and the systems haven't been updated, so that's always something to keep in mind when you're buying an older home. And don't forget, you may need hurricane coverage depending on your property, so you'll always want to check with your lender and your insurance agent to make sure you have enough coverage and the right coverage for your home. Bottom line is definitely get a few quotes before you dive in so you know what to expect. So, is Mount Dora affordable compared to New York? Absolutely. Compared to Orlando? In most cases, yes, you get more space, lower property taxes, a quieter small town feel, all while being in great proximity to Orlando. If you're considering making your move to Mount Dora, I would love to be your guide. Continue to browse my channel, look at some of my neighborhood tours and property tours. I have a lot of other great information about what it looks like to live here in Mount Dora. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.